Hello, my fellow vertebrates. Today's virtual Sage field trip is going to be all about invertebrates. And so I'm going to first share with you some information about what an invertebrate is, and then we're going to head over to Sage and do some garden invertebrate bingo. It's going to be a very buzzy day. So now I have said two words that you may not recognize. The first one was vertebrate. The second one was invertebrate. Can you say those with me? Let's start with vertebrate. Vertebrate. And now invertebrate. Invertebrate. Awesome job. So before I explain what these are, I want you to feel down your back, just right down the middle. Do you feel those bumps? So those bumps are called vertebrae. And your vertebrae make up your spine. So because you have vertebrae, you have a spine, which makes you a vertebrate. So vertebrates are animals with spines. So now that you know what a vertebrate is, I want you to think, what is an invertebrate? That's right, it's an animal without a spine. So today we are going to focus on the invertebrates, or the animals without spines that you can find in the garden. So did you know that most animals are invertebrates? And that a lot of those invertebrates are bugs. Can you think of another word for bug? It starts with an I. Awesome job. It is insect. So now Teacher Anna, who works for the Corvallis Environmental Center, also has a song for us to help us learn about what an insect is. So I'm going to let her sing the song, and if you know it, sing along.
Head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen. Head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen. Eyes, antennas, mandibles. Head, thorax, abdomen, abdomen.
Thanks, Teacher Anna. Now I know what an insect looks like. Insects are pretty cool animals, and there are a lot of insects in the garden. Some insects are helpful, while some are harmful. The harmful ones, they can eat the roots of our veggies that we grow, or they can eat the leaves and the top part of the plant and the fruits. So when they eat those things, then they ruin the plant, then we can't harvest it, and then we can't eat it. So let's take a look at some of the bugs that are harmful to our garden. Okay, so those are bugs that we do not want in our garden. So next, let's take a look at the bugs that we do want in our garden. So these are going to be the bugs that we want to make sure that we protect when we see them in our garden, so that they can keep keeping our garden safe. So another really great insect for the garden is bees. And there are lots of different types of bees, and many of them help to pollinate our food that grows in the garden, like honeybees or bumblebees. So pollinate means that the pollen, or the yellow dust inside flowers, gets moved from one flower to the next flower. This helps the flower to reproduce so that it can grow seeds and then grow into new plants. And so the bees, they help to do this process. Can you think of some other animals that would be found in the garden that would also be pollinators? Yes, exactly. So maybe hummingbirds or butterflies. Those are also garden pollinators that you might find. Did you know that you can even be a pollinator? If you're walking around and you brush a flower, you might move the pollen, and then you are pollinating without even realizing it. some of our invertebrates that are in our garden are not insects. And that means that they don't have those 3 body parts that teacher Anna told us about. They don't have eyes, antennae, or the 6 legs. But that doesn't mean that they're not also really important to the health of our garden. So I want you to think of an invertebrate, or an animal without a spine, that we haven't talked about yet. Did you say maybe worms or potato bugs? So those are animals without spines, and they help to keep our garden soil healthy by breaking down dead leaves and plants and wood to keep the soil healthy so that our plants can grow. Phew, that was a lot of information. There are so many other invertebrates that we can find in our garden and just around outside, and so we would be here forever if we covered all of them. So thank you so much for listening so closely. And now that we know what we are looking for, I think that you are ready to go and play some invertebrate bingo. So I'm going to head over to stage and we're going to meet some friends over there and we're going to play our game in the garden. I'll see you there.
Okay, we are out at Sage and we are going to be playing our garden invertebrate bingo. Are you ready? Make sure that you have your bingo card. We have teacher Serene and her 2 kids out here with us today, and they are going to help us play our bingo game. Once we find an invertebrate, we will mark it off on our bingo card and give 1 descriptive fact about it. How many legs does it have? The color of it? The size? Is it a good or bad bug? Do you see on the bingo card that there are some blank spots? If you find an invertebrate and you don't see its picture on the card, you get to draw it in yourself. If you know what it is, make sure to label it. If not, try asking an adult and maybe they can help you identify it. Remember, we are looking for anything in the garden that doesn't have a spine. What do you see?
I see a beetle, a slug, let me find a slug, and a cell bug.
So tell us about beetles. Do you think that that is a good bug or a bad bug for the garden?
I don't really know, but I think they eat like leaves.
Some do, but these ones are helping to protect our garden.
So they do help.
Yep. And then what about the slug?
The slug, slugs eat, I think it's like, I don't think it's good for the garden because it like, at our house last year they ate all of our strawberries and we had to put slug stuff so the slugs wouldn't eat our strawberries.
And what does a sow bug look like? Does it have lots of legs or few legs?
Lots of legs.